A surge in the number of emaciated children arriving at a feeding center in Lear, a muddy rebel-held town in South Sudan's oil-rich Unity State, is fueling fears that the world's newest nation is on the brink of famine. Food stocks are running low across conflict-ravaged northern regions of the country, and the onset of the rainy season has dashed hopes that South Sudan's displaced subsistence farmers will plant enough crops to feed themselves. South Sudan, which gained independence from Sudan in 2011 after decades of conflict, could be headed for the worst famine since the 1984 Ethiopian famine. The charity Medicine Sans Frontières Doctors Without Borders said it had treated about 1,800 malnourished children at its feeding center in Lear since mid-May. In 2013, it treated 2,300 children during the whole year. In relief agency feeding centers, mothers seeking medical help for skeletal children tell harrowing tales of life in the bush where they could only scavenge for fruit or roots. One woman who fled fighting in the Lear region said they have no food and survive on wild berries and roots. Her child is very sick. Her 3-year-old son weighs just 2 kg because of acute malnutrition, whereas a healthy 3-year-old in South Sudan would normally weigh 10 to 12 kg. Sabrina Shamin, an acting coordinator for Medicine Sans Frontières MSF, says that the charity was seeing a concerning rate of malnutrition.
We are seeing alarming rate of malnutrition, and it should not continue in this way. So if there is nothing, the situation will continue in this way. There will be more mortality, people will not have access to food, so the situation will get worsened.
But a local resident of Lear expressed hope that NGOs will be able to help the situation.
People are suffering from hungry, there's no water, there are diseases, and I can see NGOs are still coming, so I'm hoping for the good things to happen here in Libya.
South Sudan is the size of France but has hardly any paved roads, and the United Nations and humanitarian agencies are struggling to provide aid to remote regions. Even plane deliveries of rations are dwindling as rain softens death roads that act as airstrips. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, said aid agencies in Lear were treating more than 1,000 cases of child malnutrition every month. Before violence broke out in December, it was about 40 per month. Western diplomats say the looming famine is man-made and avoidable, but they expect thousands to die and much of the country to suffer as neither President Salva Kiir or rebel leader Riek Machar appear ready to strike a lasting peace deal. At least 10,000 people have been killed and more than 1 million displaced since clashes between rival army factions broke out in December. Foreign investment has collapsed and the cost of the war has crippled the government's budget. Rebels blame the government for violating 2 ceasefires agreed earlier this year and for driving the nation to disaster. The government accuses the rebels of sparking the conflict.